Hello everyone, my name is Influencer and welcome back to Monkey Island. It feels good to welcome you all back to this sandbox series because, as you might know, Monkey Island is a island zoo where I created a habitat for all the monkeys in the game, and since Frontier just released the South American DLC and there's a new monkey in the game, we had to create a new habitat for that. So yeah, a new Monkey Island episode in which we are going to create a temple-styled habitat for these little monkeys. I want to start off by thanking everyone from Frontier Games for providing me with the key and early access so I could already play around with all the new pieces that are introduced with this pack. If you want to see all the new pieces, I already uploaded a overview video of all the new pieces in the game or in the DLC pack. So yeah, I will put a link in the right top corner if you want to see that one. But for now we are going to start with this new habitat, and as I already told you, I wanted to create this temple style. It fits in perfectly with this zoo, and I really like these new wall pieces. It's much easier to build something like this with these pieces, and I just wanted to show you guys what you can do with it. And it's actually quite simple to do this. So these pieces are called the temple stones, walls, and yeah, they already look like a ruin basically. So everything is broken, and yeah, you don't have to lay down every rock one by one, but you can just put these walls down and it already looks good. So I'm really happy with these new pieces. I did put some glass in the windows because I thought it would be a little bit more realistic, because I want this to be a shelter space but also a viewing area for the guests. So the guests can enter the ruined temple from this side, and then they can walk through, can see the animals, and there will be another viewing area on the other side, which I will start right after this. So this will also be a shelter space for the animals. So I'm putting some ceilings in there, and I will also put some beddings and stuff. I will put that in there. So I decided to not put the monkey in the Amazon River Safari, and I had a good reason for that. I did some research. You can also find that in the Zoopedia in the game, but this specific monkey is not from the Amazon, so I thought it would be a little bit weird to add that one to the Amazon River quest. I really hope one day we might get like a Amazon animal pack or something like that, so we probably have all the tropical building pieces that we want, but we do not have all the animals from the Amazon, of course, or from South America. So I'm still hoping for something like a South American animal pack with some more animals, so maybe up to 10 animals. I don't know, I'm just guessing, but yeah, I'm really hoping to see something like that in the future. But for now, I'm really happy with these new building pieces. So I just started on this new viewing area, and yeah, what I'm doing right now, I use this temple stones, but I also use the glass barriers to separate the guests from the animals. And I thought this would look much better than just the walls. So putting the bedding in there, and then I start with these new rock pieces. So these are dynamic rock pieces, and the moss that is covering the rock, which is dynamic. So if you, as you can see, if you turn around the rock, the moss will only grow on the top side of the rock, and that's what's making these rock pieces really nice. There are also new rock pieces which are completely covered with moss. So we have two types of rocks, or new types of rocks basically. So then I'm starting with the foliage. I really like the foliage, of course. It fit much better. It's a shame that I didn't have these pieces when I started Monkey Island. I could have created a much nicer habitat for the bonobo, I think, and I'm thinking about redoing that entire habitat later. So there might be another video about that, but basically that will be the same thing as I'm doing right now. I also created something like this in the in the gorilla habitat. But we also have these kind of pieces, but then recolorable. So these walls, yeah, these stone walls pieces, they are also recolorable. Not these ones, but the other ones. But yeah, you can basically create anything you want with these pieces. So we might redo the bonobo habitat later in this series. So maybe we will get another episode of Monkey Island. But we have a lot of empty space left. So this one was, yeah, it was not empty. So I deleted all the foliage that I just threw in there to fill everything up basically. But we have enough space to add some more monkeys. So hopefully we can do that yeah, later. I really like this tree, by the way, that is covering up the ruin right now. I also play around with some single pieces, of course, to create some custom things. I really like the windows. They really function as a viewing area for the guests. And on the other side of the habitat, so which part is empty right now, there will be another viewing area for them. And then I start with the new foliage, just play around with this, with these trees. And this is actually just the first time I ever saw these pieces. So I did create this video first before I did the overview of all the new pieces, just to play around with all these new stones and new wall pieces. I didn't really use the bamboo pieces yet in this build. I tried it, but it didn't fit in. So I just stick with these temple stone walls. They fit in much better with the entire feeling around Monkey Island. So yeah, that's why I just try to stick with that one. So right now I'm starting on the rock work on the side of the habitat. This is the beach for the sea turtles I created in the last episode of Monkey Island. So this is on the same side of the island, and you will get some overview cinematics, of course, in the end of the video. So you will see the entire habitat. So I'm starting on the little viewing area right now. So I lowered it, the ground down a little bit, so the guests will have a proper view. Again, these dynamic rocks, I'm gonna use them all over the place. I'm even thinking about replacing all the rock work in Monkey Island just with these rocks, because they fit in much better. And yeah, I just like the look of it. The only thing I have to say is they don't really blend in well with the terrain work. So I told you guys this like 20 times already, but I like to sink in the rocks into the ground and then use the terrain work to make sure it blends in perfectly. But it doesn't work with these rocks, of course. But yeah, you don't really see the difference, but yeah, it's just some small details. Maybe they can create some paint work that would cover up these rocks. I don't know, some moss paint work, something like that. But then again, they have to keep in mind the animal needs, and they need to introduce a new animal need if they use some moss terrain work. So yeah, I can feel the pain if you have to add it, but I would still like to see it. So then I'm starting on some climbing frames. I tried to make these from bamboo. You will also see some strange transitions later, probably in a few seconds. But then I started trying to build it with bamboo, but I didn't really like it. So yeah, you can see now everything is gone again, and I'm rebuilding it basically because I tried these bamboo pieces. It didn't look good. To combine it with these temple themed, it looks much better if you just use these logs. I did find myself creating this climbing frame, and it's just a little bit too big if you use it for these smaller monkeys. These monkeys are really small. I will put them into the habitat later, of course. But then I also create some smaller climbing frames next to the ruin, next to the temple, and that already looks much better. But then again, this looks really cool, and you can also use this habitat for another monkey, of course. But I really like the combination of the rocks, the foliage, the ruin theme all over the place. It really looks cool in the end. So some new terrain work. I already put the gate in for the staff, so then later we can put the animals in, of course. I'm putting a lot of effort again in the terrain work. putting down some rocks. And yeah, later on I will start expanding everything. I found that yeah, right now the habitat is a little bit too empty. Because when I finished this part, I already thought, okay, this might be the end of the video already, because yeah, it looks almost finished. But I will expand the ruin a little bit more. I will start on some new climbing phrases. But first I throw down a lot of new flowers, of course. So these are all pieces that are included in the new South American DLC. And there is a lot of new foliage as well, some new plants, some new trees. And they really fit in perfectly with the theme that we have all over this zoo. So yeah, again, some new glass pieces, and this will be the final viewing area for the guests. Raising the glass a little bit to make it more realistic, so these animals can't escape from it. And I'm just making sure that everything looks nice. And yeah, this will be man-made, so it doesn't really look like this viewing area was there already when they found this island and changed it into a zoo. But yeah, again, this ruin was probably already there. I just deleted the normal tropical rocks. I'm replacing everything with these mossy rocks. So these are not the dynamic ones, but the normal mossy rocks. So you can see they are much greener. And yeah, but still I really like the look of that one. Again, these really small plants, they work perfectly. And also these roots, that's what we were looking for when we started this zoo. So I'm really happy with all the new pieces that are in here. Just checking if the animals can escape. So the monkeys are already in here. The door I tried to create here didn't work. So that was one of the window pieces. So I had to come up with something new here. So I'm just creating this door, creating a costume wall with some new, some smaller pieces. But it basically looks the same. But then, then it does work. So that's the most important thing, of course. So this will be the shelter space for the animals. They can already use it now. And then I start by decorating the sides of the habitat, of course. And putting some new green stuff in between the other rocks. Some enrichment items, of course. I still try to keep in mind the animal needs. Of course, this is not a Veluwe zoo, so we don't have to keep it in mind in this sandbox mode, but then again, I still like to think about the animals, of course. So right now I'm starting on the viewing area for the guests. So yeah, I only threw down some paths there, and that was it. And it felt a little bit too empty for me. Also, I missed some verticality in this building, so I'm trying to make it a little bit higher and make it look a little bit better. And also to give the guests the experience that they are entering a temple or something like that. Yeah, this entire thing will be covered, so they will go into this hallway. They will see the animals on the left, and then they will walk through it, and they will have another viewing area. So that really looks cool in the end. Making sure everything looks a little bit better with these decoration, with these trims. Yeah, I really like these wall pieces. You can easily build whatever you want with it. And yeah, so the new door. So yeah, the guests will really have the South American experience when they are walking through this habitat. So with that, we almost reached the end of the video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. And if you did, make sure you hit the like button. And if you didn't do it already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. So you won't miss out on any new content, and I will speak to you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
you.